They coming for us or they coming for you?
The power. If you have a connection to Marvin Thomas, you have a connection to organized crime.
I'm not getting into no war with my son in the trench.
There's still a price that needs to be paid.
I hope your son knows how much you love him.
You don't know what you're doing, Kanan.
From the beginning of Season 3, raising Kanan has no doubt been a bit of a rollercoaster of a journey. They've given us a few happy moments, as well as a few tragic moments, but they've been building and moving various chess pieces across the board, all for the grand finale, where everything will finally come to a head. Everyone is wearing black and red, which I think paints a picture of some choices and decisions some will have to make or be forced into. The war between Rock and Kanan, with Kanan being at the center, will no doubt come to an end, which can only end in one winner. Alliances are also going to have to be formed across the chessboard. There also may be a few tricks and twists up the writer's sleeve, which does leave us questioning a few scenarios. Law enforcement will also be looking to get their win, but will it be Howard or will it be Marvin? Or could they even spring us up a surprise and pin it on someone else? Will Duke go to the military? What happens with Famous, Lulu, and how do they generally wrap things up for Season 3, as well as leave us on the edge of our seats for Season 4? There's definitely a lot to unpack, so as usual, we're going to be running through all the exclusive images, any clips in this preview, for all things Raising Kanan, Season 3, Episode 10. Now the title for Episode 10 is Made You Look, and the synopsis reads, desperation sets in for Howard as he tries to evade the task force. Meanwhile, Ronnie goes on the attack, leaving Rock and Kanan to make some fateful choices. Now I did break this episode title down earlier in the week when I did my trailer breakdown, and now that I've had a week to maybe just let this sink in, watch a couple of episodes and let this digest for a little longer, I am going to be sticking to my original thoughts. I referenced Made You Look to being a track from Nas, and like Captain Baptiste said, he doesn't believe in coincidences on Southside. I don't believe in coincidences in Power. So I think Made You Look will be a theme that runs across the entire episode. I think they've made it look like they've got rid of Lou, when in fact he could be at a rehab center. They're making us look in Howard's direction with this issue with law enforcement, but are they making us look in Howard's direction for them to only turn the tables and arrest Marvin? Will we finally be introduced to Breeze, and has Ronnie been a red herring for the entirety of Season 3? And last but not least, did they make us look in the wrong direction in regards to Unique? Will we see his return? Now with Detective Howard, it's going to be a really big episode for him. Season 3 started with him ending what he thought was Detective Beck, who uncovered all of his secrets and lies, but could Episode 10 bring everything full circle for Detective Howard? Stories always have a way of coming back round, which is why in my videos I tend to circle back round to the very beginning and the overall theme, but we're going to see him turning to his faith, which is something we haven't seen since Season 2, and it is very interesting that he's now turning to God. I said God is the first person who you should turn to no matter what circumstance you find yourself in, whether it's hardships or success. With Howard, he may be thinking about making a move that ends badly for Marvin Thomas.
You only got one chance to get out from under it. Truth is, I don't even know if I could save myself entirely, but it'll get you and Kanan out the crosshairs. Marvin got to take the fall.
In 309, we had Howard telling Rock that Marvin needed to take one for the team, and in Episode 10, he's going to continue with that thought. He tells Rock that they're putting 2 and 2 together, and with Agent Tanner, it's definitely not equaling 5. He's going to be bringing down the hammer, and Howard says Marvin has to take the fall, there's no other way. Now that's because over at the precinct, Howard is going to come under extreme pressure with Agent Tanner, so he's looking to save himself, Rock and Kanan. And look, he may even actually be right. If he takes the fall, then they might find the connection to Rock and Kanan, and that means the entire house of cards could come down. But if Marvin takes one for the team, the rest of them may just be able to fight for another day. Now with Marvin, we've got him over at the cemetery where he'll be interrupted by the FBI. Now who he's come to visit, I think is most likely Gerald and his daughter Alice. But with regards to the FBI, let's see what they can actually find on Marvin, because I honestly don't think Gerald gave them that much to work with. Neither did Jukebox when she was questioned by Agent Tanner. But the main question is, will Detective Howard?
We could figure it out without nobody getting hurt.
I'm a big believer in diplomacy, Marvin. But for that to work, one has to have willing negotiating partners sitting across from each other. And I'm not convinced that Ronnie or your sister are in a negotiating state of mind.
Now over to this brewing war between Ronnie and Rock with Kanan at the center. We're going to see Marvin coming over to meet Snaps and Pop, where he'll be looking for Ronnie, because he wants to end this nonsense before it goes too far. However, if Ronnie and Snaps isn't willing to play ball, then Marvin did warn that he knows what happens next, and that's the side of Marvin I think we're going to see in Episode 10. Let's not forget what he said in Season 1, he's a gangster who does gangster shit. So even though for the majority of this season we've seen his calm and caring side, let's not forget, Marvin can get shit done in a violent manner as well. Now with Ronnie, we all know he has this real hatred for Rock. In 309, he said that Rock needed to be dealt with, but I think this clash will be because Kanan wants to handle things a little different. I don't think he wants Rock to be taken off the chessboard, even if they aren't seeing eye to eye at this moment in time. I don't think he's quite ready to get rid of his mom, and I also don't think the writers are ready to end Rock's story either. He also doesn't definitely fear or respect Ronnie, and that's a big problem for someone like Ronnie whose entire persona in the streets relies on him being feared. I mean, if a 16-17-year-old doesn't fear or respect you, then what does that really say about you? Maybe this is why Kanan will be kidnapped by Ronnie's crew, with Jukebox being held at gunpoint, because I do think Juke and Kanan may be together when this happens. Now we will also at some point see Rock coming to meet Snaps and Pop in episode 10, as well as coming to meet with Stefano, where both meetings take place in the grand scheme of things in episode 10. We're not too sure. But one thing we can be sure of is, Rock will be plotting and scheming. She needs alliances and she needs to create a plan to bring down Ronnie. So I wouldn't be surprised if she was here to negotiate with Snaps, even though she rarely does negotiate. Now with Snaps and Pop and Stefano, whatever happens in episode 10, in my personal opinion, I think these alliances and plots will rumble on into season 4. They need to close some chapters but leave some open, and definitely create new ones. And Snaps and Pop and Stefano, I think we're going to see them in season 4, because they are way too powerful to get rid of at this moment in time. On the other hand, I can't see them getting rid of Ronnie. We've got Ronnie, Rock and Kanan in a warehouse of some sort, and this is a meeting I can't wait to see. Out of all of them with Rocks and Snaps, Rock and Stefano, I think this is the one we're all waiting for. Now how it goes down, who knows, it is a guessing game at this moment in time. But if I were to make a bold prediction, I do think we are going to see Kanan turning on Ronnie and siding with his mother. I do think episode 10 will end with the death of Ronnie Mathis, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a huge twist which we're not expecting, so let's see how the writers do flip the script. Something else to bear in mind when it comes to this war between Ronnie and Rock is that Rock will get shot at while she's in her truck. Again, similar to the Snaps and Stefano meet, we don't exactly know when this will fall in episode 10 in terms of the timeline of events, but it does seem like episode 10 will be full of actions, big conversations, maybe revelations of secrets, new alliances, and a major death or two, so let's see how this all begins to unfold. Now in terms of the exclusive images that are left to dissect, we've got Duke and Marvin at Rock's house, no doubt in conversation with Rock, who's probably breaking down what they have to do to come out the other end as winners. We've also got Duke and Aisha, and where do they take Duke's storyline? What happens with her role as the leader Butter? And will she actually join the military? I'm hoping these are the questions that they'll answer in episode 10. We don't also necessarily need to know all the answers of why she became a cop, why she moved to DC, or why she changed her surname to Ghana just yet, but they do need to give us the answers to where she is at this moment in time. You know, is her dream still alive, or will she decide to leave the chaos of Queens behind? Now, other plots and storylines we do need to be mindful of is with Famous. What happens with Famous is music, because he's at a crossroad as much as Duke is, because Lowell Gelford wanted to meet him and Lou, so whether that scuppers any kind of deal he could make, who knows. We also need to find out what Rock and Marvin did with Lou, and my gut feeling and opinion is they've taken him to a rehab center. I've also said it before and I'll say it again, with the theme of this episode being Made You Look, did they leave breadcrumbs for Unique's return by repeatedly making it obvious they haven't found his body yet? And last but not least, will we see the elusive Breeze, who let's not forget, was teased by the showrunner over a year ago on social media? So let's see what happens with regards to the other plots and storylines, especially on those last 2 points with Unique and Breeze, because I do feel like we are in for a crazy twist or two. But with that being said, that's a breakdown of all the exclusive teasers and images going into the last and final episode of Raising Kanan Season 3. And now the floor is yours as usual. I've given my general thoughts and theories, so drop all yours down below in the comment section. Let me know how you think they're gonna end Season 3, along with how they plant the seeds for Season 4. Drop all your comments down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.